Welcome back to my videos. I haven't been around for a while. Let me close this so we can hopefully get a better audio quality. But anyway, I haven't been around for a while, and the reason's been I have had some real bad back issues for going on about I'm not even sure now, but things are getting a little better, and I'm out here for a short ride. I can't push it too hard or anything, but I'm out here testing the new lift kit. I got the Earl People's Cubic Dollar, I guess, is his company name, lift kit installed. And let me get back so you can kind of see it. It's noticeably higher off the ground. Got that installed. Also, I have removed the rear sway bar as well. The rear sway bar has been removed. This is the first time I'm trying it. So I've had the front sway bar removed for quite some time. Removed that almost immediately, and I just removed the rear. So let's go see how it does, and we'll kind of test it out. I'm on a loop. I'm going to do a kind of a short loop, and this loop has got some gnarly stuff within the loop here. So we'll be able to try kind of how it handles and whatnot. Let's get after it. We'll see how it goes. I dug my cameras out of the mothballs, charged up all the batteries, and I'm hoping everything is working. Seems like everything is working, but we're just going to have to find out. But hopefully we can get this done, pretty quickly. But I had to use a backup GPS source. My primary GPS source is not working, so I have pulled out the backup, and that is my little iPhone 8 here. Just using that, and it's the screen's quite a bit smaller, but we'll get through it. I pretty well know this loop anyway. Should be able to to find my way even without the GPS, but I do like a GPS. But I've been out on a few rides this season I should say. Went out with my dad and his friends a few times, and believe it or not, Joanna, she went with me a few times, which was a big surprise. I posted some pictures on Instagram of that kind of thing when she was out. And since she was out with me, I didn't take any of the cameras and stuff. I just concentrated on the ride, and basically trying to get through it. I ended up having a little bit of a relapse on my back there, I guess a couple weeks ago. Ended up in the ER with my back just completely locked up. I just couldn't even get out of bed. Ended up in the ER, and kind of freaked me out, kind of scary to have something like that happen. And good news is they took some x-rays of my spine, and there's nothing wrong with my spine. No slip discs, no curvature of the spine. A little bit of arthritis towards the lower back, but I guess that's to be expected, being a little bit older and whatnot. So yeah, I guess that's to be expected. But I guess the thing is there's something going on with I don't know, either the nerves or my muscles. There's something, making my muscles clench up and, spasm. And that's kind of what's happening to me is my back muscles spasm up and I can't move. And it's mostly on my left side. So I have been sleeping in a chair for about, I don't know, a week or so, and that seems to have helped. I guess it kind of happens when I lay flat. It just starts happening. So I don't really lay flat. I just kind of sleeping in a chair, in a recliner. And so far I haven't had another relapse, but I do know now that muscle relaxers, the ones they gave me at the hospital, do in fact work. They do the trick. They unlock my back. Okay, let's see here. Should be a turn like right here. Hold on here a second. Should be a turn right here. Here we go. Here's the turn. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're pretty much on the trail. So, so far I really can't tell any difference with the sway bar removed in the rear. I'm not really feeling anything out of the ordinary, but when we get up here to there's some really gnarly off-camber stuff up here, so we will be able to better tell up here when we get to these off-camber spots what's going on specifically. Oh, there was a hawk just kind of flew up and away there. I'm gonna put down my visor a little bit to help with the amount of air blowing on my eyeballs. Okay, so I think we're going this way. Let's see here. Is that right? Okay. That is not right. Let's back up. It's hard to see this GPS, man. I'm telling you. It's hard to see it. Okay. So now we'll go the correct way. As far as how it rides with the lift kit, with the cubic dollar lift kit, and I guess I'll kind of talk about that because there's probably some of you that are interested in it. So let me talk about that. It rides a little bit stiffer. I used to have the preload in the rear because that's where all the weight is, and also where I have all the tools and everything that I carry with me. So I used to have the preload set on 1 for the rear shocks, and now I don't have any preload, and it still kind of feels more stiff than it was before. I mean, not bad. I would actually argue that it's more closer to what I would like now than it was before. The shocks, there doesn't seem to be any change in the travel or how it feels riding or anything. But it does ride noticeably more stiff, I would say, is fair to say. And so that's the biggest thing. And other than that, it's just really high off the ground. Now, as far as the stability goes, because I thought for sure, being this much higher off the ground, we were going to notice a difference in stability. We were going to kind of notice it being more tippy and things like that. And that was not the case. I really can't tell a difference. And, and the off-camber performance seems to be pretty close to the same as it always was, because I just don't think it's enough to have made a noticeable difference. I don't think it's just a couple inches or 3 inches, 2-3 inches, something like that. And I don't think that's enough to really make any difference in that area. And my my Maverick is wider than stock. I'm out to about 58 inches at least, 58 inches. So, mine is, has been modified. I've got pretty, I think I've got 2-inch spacers on it. So it, widens it out. And then I've got bigger than, normal tires, wider tires. But I've measured it recently when I was doing the alignment. And it's 58 inches wide, I do believe. And, yeah, here we go. Here's some gnarly business. But I'm in 2-wheel drive right now still. Still in 2-wheel drive, I think. Yep. I'm still in 2-wheel drive. Yeah. And I don't really like to stay in 2-wheel drive even when I can be in 2-wheel drive, just mainly because it kind of, I don't know which way to go here, actually. Let me see. I might be going the wrong way. Let's go this way. I think it's this way. Yeah, it is. Okay. Now we're heading into the sun, which is difficult to see what the hell's going on now. It is pretty late in the afternoon. I just basically decided my back was doing good today. Like I'm having a good back day for whatever reason. And I just jumped up and decided to come just do this loop real quick. It's close to my house. It doesn't take very long to get here, maybe 30 minutes or something to get out to this area. And I'm very familiar with this loop. I've done it like a lot of different times. Okay, now here's something I got to mention. It is harder to see over the hood when you come up to peaks like that where you're trying to go down a hill that you've come up. It is a little bit harder to see for sure. So that's something I probably should mention in case somebody is interested. I'm a pretty tall guy, about 6'1", decently tall. And I never had any problems seeing over the hood. I know that other people have. That's why they make those seat risers and stuff. But I've never needed one. I've never needed seat risers or anything like that. And now, I'm not sure. I still don't know if I need the seat risers for, for seeing over the hood. I mean, I can still get her done. And if I was having problems, to where it was bothering me, I might opt for, something like a front camera or something maybe instead. Let's go ahead and engage. Go ahead and engage the front wheel drive and see if we can't. Yeah, it feels to me that all of the wheels are staying on the ground quite a bit better than they used to. And there's an off-camber spot coming up here that is, pretty severe off-camber. So we're going to check that out right up here. I do believe it's like right up here. And here's a pretty good off-camber spot. Not really feeling anything, making it, more alarming. But here's the pretty bad off-camber right here. See this coming up? I don't know if you guys can tell. Everything in the camera never looks quite like it does in real life. But that's about 32 degrees off-camber right there. So that's a pretty good amount of off-camber right there. and it didn't have no trouble at all. I did not feel like it was going to tip over or anything. It was fine. And so yeah, so maybe we'll kick out a four-wheel drive up here. I think we're good for a little while, maybe. Let me see. Probably not. You know how that goes. You know, you take it out of four-wheel drive, put yourself in high range, you know, and then next thing you know, boom, you're needing four-wheel drive again. And another thing that I have added to the machine is a rear Wi-Fi camera that I don't really have a device that you know, that's dedicated to it yet. I'm still working on that. I mean, it works. I have, you know, I have an app I can switch to see behind me if need be. But yeah, I'd like to have a dedicated device, you know, mounted up here like a rear view mirror, or in place of the rear view mirror, just running all the time. I've got to work that out though. Maybe that tablet that I brought today could do that, but it sucks as a GPS device, so I won't be using it for a GPS device ever again. That'll be the end of that. So I mean, it feels really good. Everything feels real tight. Feels real good. I mean, I might even get a chance to use my lights that I installed on this thing because I'm out here pretty late in the afternoon. Let's see, what time is it? It's 5:20 in the afternoon right now. So it's you know, it could get dark out here before we get out of here. But here comes a hairy spot. We might be able to tell something right here. We'll just kind of, because you usually get off the ground here, and I did just a little bit, but nowhere near normal. Oh yeah, that is staying on the ground much better. I should have put a camera on the rear suspension so you could kind of see it working. Maybe we'll do that in the future, but it's looking like I'm definitely leaving the sway bar disconnected. I actually removed it from the machine, so I'm probably going to leave it disconnected, because I'm really liking how it's handling, you know, much better. I just don't, you know, unless you're one of those guys that likes to go fast, you know, and I'm not one of those guys. That's not my jam, you know. So it seems to me like the sway bars gotta go, unless you know, there's some sort of mechanical problem that happens later, like, you know, broken axles or something like that starts happening. Well, then might have to re-evaluate. But one of the things that I did notice while I was removing the sway bars is that, ooh, here's a little hairy spot, huh? Is that the sway bars are the same. The front and rear sway bars are the same, except for the diameter of the bar. You can use the front. You can totally use the front sway bar in the back, and then if you did that, you would have a lot more flex, a lot more give. If you did that, the only thing that's different is that the position of the collars is slightly. Now this is pretty off camber right here. We'll see what happens here. Oh yeah, that felt good. Ooh, We better get into some four-wheel drive here. Oh yeah, that that feels planted, man. That really does feel good and planted. I like that. That's working good for me. I have throughout the history of me off-roading with different like ATVs and stuff. This is my first UTV, but when I would off-road with ATVs, yeah, one of the first things I did was get rid of the okay, ooh, that's about 32 degrees right there too. I would get rid of the sway bars on my ATVs as well, because you know, I did this exact same kind of riding with an ATV as well. So I've always been you know, a guy that removes sway bars. So and it's still, you know, I mean, you'd have to be going pretty fast and take a corner pretty sharp to you know, to have the sway bar missing be a, you know, a major problem. I think the handling is still really predictable because the shocks are, you know, they're stiff. You know, the shocks are very stiff, so it you know, it kind of controls a lot of the body roll. All right, now here comes a hairy spot. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. This is like crawling up over. Oh yeah. Oh man, didn't put that front tire way up in the air. That was great. I could tell that the front left tire left the ground, but just barely. Look where that came from. Where that trail goes. All right. So there's a hairy spot coming, and then that's pretty much it. And we'll call that, we'll put a pin in that, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'll at least cycle the video, stop the video. And, you know, I don't know if we'll, you know, try this trail. And here it is right here. This is the gnarly spot right here. Four-wheel drive on. Now I always go up this totally different than everybody else does. I just feel like this V right here is easier for me. I just like this right here. Oh man, that was no problem. That was no problem at all with the sway bar disconnected, man. That was no problem.